Welcome to Chinwag Tuesdays, your passport to a world of language and culture.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Chinwag Tuesdays. I'm Amanda, and today's special guest is Nohely from Ecuador. Thank you so much for being here, Nohely. So to start off, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how long you have been in Australia, and what are you doing in Tasmania?
Hello, Amanda. Nice to meet you. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to stay here with you in this interview. I'm nervous now because it could be challenge talk with a phone, with a screen. As you say before, I'm from Ecuador. I'm from South America. I'm arrived to Australia 4 months ago. First, I stayed in Brisbane, and now I'm here in Tasmania. The reason because I moved to Tasmania is for a work. I found a job on a farm. So this job will help me to extend my visa. I'm holding work and holiday visa, so I can extend my visa for another year.
Okay, wonderful. I'm actually quite jealous that you live in Tasmania because I've never been to Tasmania, but I've heard it is beautiful. So I'm really glad that you're in a place like Tasmania.
Yeah, Tasmania is a beautiful place. The landscape are like a movie landscape.
I bet.
Some place look like a Harry Potter scenary.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Sometimes I was in several places in the north and west Tasmania. I really enjoy the mountains, the sunsets. Yeah, they're magic.
Yes, I bet. So did you have any assumptions about Australia before you moved that turned out to be wrong? Can you hear me? You're on mute.
We can stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll start from the beginning. Hold on. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Chinwag Tuesdays. I'm Amanda, and today's special guest is Nohely from Ecuador. Thank you so much for being here, Nohely.
Thank you, Amanda. It's a pleasure to stay here with you, with your followers. I think it's a great experience for me.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you for agreeing to come on here. So to start off, tell me a bit about yourself. I know you're from Ecuador, but how long have you been in Australia for?
Yes, I'm from Ecuador. I'm Ecuadorian. I'm from South America, Latin person. So I arrived to Australia 4 months ago. In the beginning, I arrived to Brisbane, but now I'm here in Tasmania.
Okay, I've never actually been to Tasmania before, so I'm really jealous. What are you doing in Tasmania?
Well, I found a job on a farm. I'm holding work and holiday visa. So this will help me to extend my visa for another year. So I have to work for at least 3 months, as that is the requirement of the Australian government for people who have the same type of visa as me. It's a good option to know another place, especially in Tasmania. It's a remote area.
Yes, that's true. I have heard that about the farm working. My hometown, so where I grew up, is a regional area that's really, really popular for farm workers as well. So I've grown up around a lot of farmlands, and most of the people who work on the farms in my hometown are people on working holiday visas. So I'm a little bit familiar with it. But what kind of farm do you work on?
I'm in a dairy farm.
Hey.
Yeah, in the north of Tasmania, specifically in Smithton.
Okay,
yeah.
Yes, I've heard of that city.
Yeah, in a dairy farm. I live far from big cities. It's a remote area, but it's a beautiful place. I really enjoyed my experience in Tasmania. Could be weather. The weather is warm now. It's not too cold, so it's great. I can enjoy the landscapes. I can enjoy the pace because I have all that I need for live good, and I have work. So it's a good time for live a different experience that you ever think about how you can work when you are in your 20s.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
I never imagined that I work in a dairy farm, but
Yeah.
it's true. I'm here
Yeah.
working with cows and calves, so it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this experience.
I'm so glad to hear that. Now, did you have any assumptions about Australia before you moved that turned out to be wrong? So, as an example, there is an assumption that in Australia, we go to school on kangaroos, that we ride kangaroos. That's what people think in other countries. That's definitely not true. So, are there any things that you thought about Australia before moving that turned out to also be wrong or incorrect?
Well, yeah. In Brisbane, I saw kangaroos and koalas. So the in my list is check. Okay, check. But the one thing that I was surprising is the beaches, because I thought there will be many beaches and the water will be warm, but it's not same than Ecuador, and that there will be a lot of seafood near to the beach. But no, I was wrong. It is not like that. The beaches are beautiful but cold, and there is not fresh seafood near to buy and eat. It's completely different to Ecuador. In Ecuador, when you think about beaches, you can see the sunlight and the warm, around you, and a lot of seafood, a lot of near to the beach, and you can buy and eat. But here is completely different. The water is cold that I mentioned before, so I was surprised. Everything else has been more beautiful than I could have ever imagined it.
Oh, that's so nice.
I really love the place that I visited in Australia.
Yeah. One question though, because I know Tasmania is really famous for its pink salmon, like Tasmanian salmon. So I have an assumption about Tasmania that salmon is really easy to buy or easy to get. Is that true?
Easy to buy what? Excuse me?
Salmon. Have you heard of the fish? It's a pink type of fish, and it's only found in very, very cold water. So in Australia, if you want to buy salmon, like if I want to buy salmon in Brisbane, the salmon comes from Tasmania. So it's a type of pink fish.
Well, I never tasted in Tasmania. I don't.
Okay, there you go. Maybe that's an assumption of mine.
Yeah, maybe. Could be a possibility. Yeah. In Tasmania, I bought seafood, but in the supermarket, and it's not fresh. It's similar to another cities, not fresh.
Okay.
Yeah. I should taste it. I should buy.
Yes.
Some.
If you find it, have a look. It's amazing. Like I don't eat meat anymore, but I still have seafood sometimes. So I'm what's called a pescatarian, someone who doesn't eat meat but eats seafood. And I can sometimes get salmon here in India. It comes from like Europe or something, and it's so expensive, but it's really delicious. But I really love Australian salmon. So I do try and have a lot of it when I go home.
Yeah, I should test it. I should look for the opportunity here in Tasmania.
Yes.
Now I have a lot of milk, a lot of fresh milk.
I bet you do.
Yeah, but not salmon yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, add it to your Australia to-do list, your Australia bucket list. Try salmon.
Thank you for your advice.
Okay. So what parts of Australian culture do you like the most? So I know it's been 4 months, but you've probably experienced different parts of the culture. Which are some of the things you really like them?
Well, I really like the freedom line of Australian people. Australian people are very kind. People are generally friendly when you are working, when you are in a restaurant, when you are in a supermarket, people are gentle. So I can feel like accepted in their culture. On the other hand, the culture in Australia is like a mix of many cultures, including food. I really enjoyed meeting people from different countries, different parts of the world. For example, Europe, Asia, Africa, and you can find food from every country. It's like a little piece of each country are here in Australia. So I really enjoy that. I can taste it, a lot of food, talking with people from Korea, people from India, people from Belgium, a lot of people from another countries. So it's very useful for your mind, for your think about the world. In Australia, it's like all the world in a little space. So it's great.
Yeah. That's so true with what you were saying about it being a very mixed culture. So a very common question I get when I teach and also when people find out I live in India is about Australian food. So what's a typical Australian dish? There is none, really. There's not look, you can go to the pub and order a chicken schnitzel or a chicken schnitty or a T-bone steak, but that's just you get at the pub. It's not something that you really cook often at home. But my mum's Italian. So I grew up eating a lot of Italian food. So when I think of home cooked food in Australia, I think of lasagna and pasta and like Italian food. So I think that's one of the really beautiful things about Australia is that it is really multicultural and you get to experience all of those different cultures from the people.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely is an experience maybe unique here in Australia. Immigrant culture. It's a mix. I don't know how to say. Yeah, but is in another level, in a high level of behavior, of learning diverse languages, diverse culture. I think that people should be careful when are talking with another person because in your culture could be good, but in another culture could be rude if you don't are careful. So I think it's good in Australia because when you are working, your employee talk with you about that. Talk about rules, about you how could be your behavior when you are working. So you can learn about how you can do and you can't do. You can avoid when you are living with another person. In Australia, it's very common that people share same apartment or one house, several people. So it's common, but you should learn how your behavior could be good to live in a good way with another person.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah. It could be hard, but it's useful for your personality,
Yeah.
Your character.
I think that's a very important point because as you said, you work with a lot of different people from different nationalities and you live all together as well. And you can live with different nationalities. And I think it's important to learn a little bit about those nationalities and to understand how to be respectful because there are some things that might be normal in your culture or your language that is considered rude in another. And it's having that awareness and understanding, I think, will help make your adjustment a lot better too.
Yeah. I remember that in my first job in Brisbane, I should do a course about harassment, even sexual harassment. Yeah, it's very, very important because there are a lot of people in a unique space.
Yeah.
So could be challenging for employees, for companies, but it's very good the behavior during at work,
Your ethical behavior.
Ethical behavior. Yeah, it's challenging, but Australia doing well.
Yeah. Yeah. Then what are some differences that you noticed about working in Brisbane and Tasmania? Well, working in a city and now on a farm? Because I know that not only would there be accent or language differences, but what have you noticed about working in those two different areas?
Well, I think that Australia is a country that offers many possibilities to work. You can be self-employed or work for a company. For example, in Brisbane, many people get jobs through the apps, for example, pet sitting apps, or simply by offering the service. It's very common. So you can get money if you want. But here in Tasmania, it's completely different because, for example, I'm in a remote area far from big cities. So you should have a car for your own transportation. You should have a character because you are with the same persons during several days, during a long time with same person. For example, it's uncommon here in the farm see another people that if they aren't your core work. If you want make friends, the farm is not the best. In Brisbane, there are a lot of space for share with another person. Yeah, big rest discotheques, parks. But in a farm in Tasmania, it's not common. You should go to the other cities. For example, the city which is with more people is Borneo, near to Smithton. Yeah. For example, in Smithton, there are 3,000 people, maybe.
It's nothing, is it?
Yeah, a few people. Yeah. Yeah, but it's part of the experience.
Yeah,
people don't be afraid about that, because the people who are here in the farm, they are great people. They are good people. We can share. We can spend time together, working or in house, even with our boss. And the family of my boss. They are very gentle, very kindness. We can share the holidays, for example, Christmas, end of the year together, and we enjoy it. Even with a few people, even with not big shows, not big parties, but together and spend time with food, with music, with playing, and at the next day work. Because in the park,
so nice.
every day people should work. So it's good. If you want to live here for a long time, it could be hard. But in Tasmania, even in Australia, people change her job frequently. People should move to another cities, Tasmania, or even in Australia, like Queensland, Victoria. Because depend of your visa, depend of your money. You can choose several options depending of your position in the country. It's like immigrant people should be looking for opportunities for improve your status in Australia. So it's the way like people enjoy the experience, because people should move. I should move to around the country, around the state. For example, I never imagined came to Tasmania early, because I arrived to Brisbane in October. So in December, I came to Tasmania. Only 2 months in Brisbane. 3 months at least in Tasmania. Next city, I don't know. I can't imagine. But I think, it's part of the process. But if you travel alone, as I am, I'm here by myself, it's easy. But if you have family or partner could be hard because you can talk with other persons to make a decision.
Yeah.
But if you are by yourself, it's fun. Could be easy.
Yeah. And so how is it different from working in Ecuador? Like the difference between the work culture or working in Australia versus Ecuador?
Yeah, in Ecuador is very different because it's very common that people can work with apps. The culture prefer formal jobs, in a company or self-employed with your, Ecuadorian people prefer to be owner of her service with a company or with a entrepreneurship. People is common. Yeah, but it's difficult to get a job.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have a bachelor degree. People prefer study at university and obtain a bachelor degree to work in a big company. It is different than here. In Australia, people can work since they are young, since 15 years old, maybe. Yeah,
True.
in Ecuador,
Yeah.
it's not common. It's not common.
Yeah.
People should study since, school, high school, and then they can obtain a formal job. Yeah. And if you want obtain more money, you should study at university.
Yeah.
It's a common people think in this way. If it work or doesn't work is the is the question. Yeah, but here it's not. It's different here. You can work at restaurant, you can work at hotel, you can work in a farm. The opportunity is there. But in Ecuador, you should looking for a job in a different place. In a company. Most of people looking for a job in a company.
Yes, that's a very good point that you make. And it's something I do talk to my students about as well, is that there are a lot of work opportunities in Australia and you really don't need higher education to get a decent job. You really don't need a bachelor's degree unless you're being an engineer or a doctor or something. But you could do TAFE. Like I studied my advanced diploma in hospitality management and I got a job in hotel management. I didn't need a degree in tourism or hotel management for that. You can have a job, you can get a job at 15 and work in a restaurant and people will still respect you for that. It's very normal to have a job at 15 as a high school kid. In some countries, India's the same, is that you can't get those kinds of jobs, those part-time jobs, working in a restaurant, working as a cleaner, working in a hotel, because they're kind of looked down upon. People prefer professional jobs, working in companies and having those kind of jobs. But in Australia, it's just, there's a lot more opportunities for people to work and earn money and to get those experiences.
Yeah, for sure. I'm agreeing with you about that. It's completely different. It's completely different in America, maybe in general, I think, because I have a Colombian friends from Chile. So the situation is similar in South America.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's good or better is not a question. It's the work or doesn't work is the question.
Exactly. It's just different. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And what has been your best experience in Australia so far?
Well, I have a specific experience. Could be hard to explain, but I want to share with you because when you move to another country, you never think in the bad things that you can live alone or by yourself in another country. Well, definitely the experience that I would remember forever is an accident at work. When I complete 1 week in my farm work here in Tasmania, a bone in my hand was fractured. So I had to get, the process, the system, the medical system, and it has surprised me in a good way. The company accompanied me through the process, and each hospital provide me a translator if I need it, if I need one. I felt safe and accompanied. Even I had a first surgery, an operation in my hand. And all the time I feel safe. I feel confident because doctors, my boss, my coworkers, they are very kind. They want to know how is recover my hand. I should change my activities, my duties on the farm, and it's like you are the priority for the company. You are the priority for the country, for Australian government. We want care for you. We want that you recover your hand better than you can, because it's not your fault. This happened, and we are with you in the process. So when you are far from home, when you are alone, when even the languages could be hard, could be challenge, because it's your health. So you want to stay good. Nobody want be insane. Always is bad when you are in a hospital. So stay in a hospital 16 hours far from home by yourself with your with your manager that you meet with him only 1 week ago. It could be challenges, but I'm alive. I'm good now. I'm recovering my hand. I had therapy. All time people help me. People support me. My coworkers, my boss, the company, the doctor. So it was a great experience after all. Could be hard, but it's the things that you never think that would be happen, but happen. No, some people have bad experience about accidents at work, but in my case, I'm good. So I want to share with another person that if you move to another country, you should buy for your health, security for your health. Yeah, so it's very important, because there are a lot of people that they work by they are self-employed, so they never think about bad things like an accident. So that's happened. So you should be careful about that. I'm grateful with my company. I'm grateful with the doctors, with my boss. Oh, I can hear you. Maybe it's smooth. All right.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Yes, thank you for sharing. That's a really incredible story. I actually, when I was in Brisbane, I used to work for a workers' compensation insurance company. So that's who you would have probably gone through because you hurt yourself at work. It was a workplace injury. They probably sent you to the insurance company, who were the ones that organized your medical bills and your surgery and your therapy and everything like that. So my job was actually to decide whether someone who hurt themselves at work, whether they were allowed to have compensation or not. What you said is really important about people who are self-employed. Don't think about their own insurances. If you are an employee of a company in Australia, you are covered by workers' compensation insurance. It doesn't matter what state, it doesn't matter where you're working. Your company has to have insurance to protect the workers. But if you are self-employed, it doesn't work like that. You have to have your own insurance. So that's such an important point to make.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. even if you are a student, you should be careful with your health. For example, in Brisbane, I want to take a bike that there are a lot of around the city, a bike that you can take an app in your phone, and you can choose one of them and use for move around the city. And I've never seen that in Ecuador, so I wanna use one. And my sister told me, never choose this, because if you broke your leg or if you had an accident, we don't have money for pay for your recovery at hospital. It's dangerous if you never used it. So you should learn first. If someone want show you how you can use this bike, you can use. But if you want learn using around the city, could be really dangerous. So don't use that.
Yeah, good advice.
I listen to my sister and I never use them. And this happened. If you are in a Facebook group, in Facebook groups of immigrants, for example, Colombians in Brisbane, Peruanos in Brisbane, Ecuadorians in Brisbane, there are a lot of experience about accidents in a car, in a bike. If you are if you work as a overeats, even only if you drive your car, you can have an accident. So people should be really careful about the insurance, about health. Accidents happen. You can avoid that, but if you are prevent about that, it's better.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So before we finish up today, I have one more question to ask. Oh, I think my microphone is going to die soon. What the hell? I'll just try. Okay, one more question. If you could give advice to anyone watching that is unsure whether they want to go to Australia because they're scared about going to an English country, an English-speaking country, what advice would you give?
Well, for people that are learning English, it's very useful watching videos and learn about grammatic, but the hard skill for me is listening and speaking, because you can learn about grammatic rules, about reading tips, but listening and specifically speaking, if you don't practice with another person, could be really, really hard to improve. For example, I was studying during 3 years, and as you can see, my speaking could be not too good. It's good, but not too good, because I'm only 4 months here in Australia. So it's the first time that I can practice with another people who speak in English. In Ecuador, I should pay for a teacher, so if you don't have money to pay, you should find another ways to practice, but it's very hard practice speaking specifically. So I can advise learning step by step. I was grown when I learn fast, because I was learning things that of B1 level and other things about level A2. So it's frustrating, because you want to improve and improve, and at the end you should return to the basic concepts, to the basics grammatical rules, because you forget, because you read about that but you don't learn about that. You should practice more step by step and be patient with your process. For someone could be easy writing but hard reading, or in your case, you can learn writing and reading, but listening could be hard. So you never compare with the process with the other person. You should be patient because you're not a bit expert with the grammatic rules. You should be communicate an idea. Even the verb isn't the correct position in the sentence, but if you know the verb, you can use. If you don't know the specific word, you can use the word that you know to make an idea, to make an idea. So because you want communicate that you want, you don't want be an expert in the English.
Yeah.
Because you only want say something, and if you are wrong, you can improve while you are practicing. Be patient. Step by
Yeah.
step.
That's the hardest
by
thing
step.
with learning a language is the patience.
Yeah. My personal experience, my boss like Spanish languages, and he is practice here his Spanish, but sometimes he is frustrating and ask me how many times you was studying English, and I said him 3 years. And I want to learn more fast. I don't want to learn in 3 years, but I always tell him, be patient with your process. It's not easy. For example, people want make a sentences and then a paragraph, but it's hard. You can learn words, you can learn verbs, and practice no more. It's all that I can say about that.
Very much. So we're going to finish up here, but I really just wanted to say thank you because I know that you have only been in Australia for 4 months. You've offered to come onto this conversational series and speak in a language that's not your own, and that takes a lot of courage. I don't think I could do this if someone asked me to go on and speak Hindi for like however long we spoke for. I wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you so much. And I hope you're proud of yourself for doing this experience. And I really hope that a lot of people can learn from your experiences and your advice too.
Thank you, Amanda, for sharing. It's the first time that I talk in an interview. So if this interview could be useful for someone, I'm be very grateful with you, with the people that take their time for watching us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.